Hey everybody, my name is Phillip Shepard. I'm a local real estate agent located right here in Northwest Arkansas. And today we're talking about there's a new, interesting, weird building being built around Lowell, Arkansas, NWA. So we need to talk about that. But before we begin, if you like and share this video with a friend or family, that would make the world of difference. I try to produce as much content as humanly possible about Northwest Arkansas, obviously. So liking and sharing just make sure that everyone can live, work, and play all in NWA. So thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Also, if you haven't been down to Northwest Arkansas quite yet, I made something called the NWA Starter Pack, and it sounds exactly what it is. It's literally a packet full of all the cool things in Northwest Arkansas. So if you want to know about the bike trails, if you want to know about all the maps around here, if you want to know all the cool things that are happening here, all the downtown sections, all the cool things that are about Northwest Arkansas, I'll package up right into a little box. Enter your email below, and I'll make sure to get that package shipped to you right away, like literally right to your home. I ship it right to your home. Side note, it does come with your first free mountain bike, so that's pretty cool, obviously. I'm a big fan of that. And. It is my favorite four-letter F word. Free! So enter your information below, and I'll make sure you get the package shipped to you right away. All right, so we're talking about a brand new building being built around Lowell, not Lowell, I made that mistake, Lowell, Arkansas, around Springdale area in Northwest Arkansas, of course. And so this is a unique building because this is going to be a trend across all of Northwest Arkansas for the next quite a few years. And it has something obviously to do with the pandemic and coming out of that and remote work. But this is going to be a brand new apartment complex or living quarters, whatever you want to call it. It's like 200 and something actual units. And it's completely designed for remote workers. So there's going to be so many perks in this building. Obviously, it's being designed by an architect around here, a well-known architect. And so it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But the idea here is that a lot of these buildings are around Northwest Arkansas are going to be sometimes remote-centric, meaning that they're going to have like obviously areas for Zoom calls, working inside the actual building itself, a lot more community spaces to hang out, coffee shops, obviously places to have obviously extreme fast Wi-Fi. In the actual article itself, it talked about how the intent is to be able to do a Zoom call at the pool and have connectivity everywhere. So that'd be pretty fun. So really the interesting part of all this is that and obviously we already know this, that a lot of remote workers have moved to Northwest Arkansas because why not? And so obviously now they're starting to design these places for remote workers to attract talent from across America to Northwest Arkansas. So this is kind of a first building completely designed, intended for remote workers and actually be able to like literally live and work and play all in your building, all in NWA. But it's true, it's interesting to see these buildings being developed. So that's kind of the short of it, what's gonna happen here. But let's talk about the reasons why this is important and why this is a big thing for Northwest Arkansas in general. So number one is the fact is that we're designing places for this intentionally. So this is going to be probably one of many kind of styles of living in Northwest Arkansas. But the idea for someone like if you wanted to say, hey, you should move to Northwest Arkansas if you're a remote worker, is the fact that we're going to have these unique style buildings, that it's not going to just be a random apartment complex in some random town. It's actually going to be a designed place, like an actual condo, townhouse, whatever you want to call it, with the intentionality of remote work. And so it's going to have all the features that you'd want and need to actually do remote work from Northwest Arkansas. And so it's going to be interesting to start seeing these new kind of styles of development being developed in Northwest Arkansas to obviously bring in more people that are remote workers. And so it's cool to see architects and designers and people that are obviously investors looking into this and saying, you know what, this is the direction the world's going to go. At least a good portion of the workforce is going to go that direction. And so how can we then cater some of these building styles to remote workers, especially in Northwest Arkansas? So that's really cool to see developers and people getting ahead of the curve versus like 10 years down the road, like, oh, this is going to be a thing. So I do appreciate living in Northwest Arkansas, who's definitely always ahead of the curve. And so number two, and part of this is also like the reason why people would actually move here for remote work is because, I've actually helped a lot of people move from Colorado, from Utah, from Idaho, from California, of course, that are remote workers, and they want to get out of those states and they want to go to a place where you can live, work, and play. And so Northwest Arkansas fits that bill for all of them. And so they're able to come here, obviously oftentimes they buy a home, but the interesting thing is that, they can literally work from home, which we already know this, obviously that's a very big trend across America and the world, but they can work from home and then they can jump out of their house literally and hit the bike trails or go to do a bike meetup or run somewhere, run up the mountains, or like you can go meet up with friends, or so everything's so close and interconnected and intertwined here that it's like you don't have to drive an hour and a half to get to the mountains. You don't have to drive, so far, have to walk so far, run so far, whatever the case is. Like, it's just all right here. And so it's interesting to see these remote workers, obviously come into play, because obviously that was kind of the intent with, the promotion for $10,000 with the Northwest Arkansas Council, where they incentivize people to come to Northwest Arkansas for $10,000 and a free mountain bike. But there's the incentive structure was like, hey, you can be a remote worker, move here, and then just do life here, build a community, enjoy all the outdoor stuff, enjoy all the indoor stuff, and you don't have to have this like insanity of driving everywhere trying to get to things. It's all right here in Northwest Arkansas. So it's cool to see remote workers come here for those reasons. Whoa, before we jump on to the next point, I have something brand new called Instant Home Updates. So maybe you're using things like Realtor.com or Zillow.com to like search for homes around Northwest Arkansas. Way too slow. That's why I made something called Instant Home Updates, and it sounds exactly what it is. It's literally instant home updates, both for homes for sale and also for rent. So enter your information below. What's your name? Square footage? Where do you want to move to? Bedrooms, bathrooms, all the stuff you're looking for. And I'll make sure to add that all into Instant Home Updates. So enter your information below, and I'll make sure you don't miss a single notification when it comes for homes for sale or for rent, all in Northwest Arkansas. Also, every single Friday, I send an email out just kind of talking about all things NWA. What new musicians are coming here? What's going on in the amphitheater? What new businesses are coming here? What is going on in the downtown sections? What are all the cool things happening here? What's going on over Crystal Bridges? What's going on over at the Walton Art? So many things. So if you enter your email below, every single Friday, I send that email just kind of keeping on top of all the things NWA. But side note, you will get a little fear of missing out. I do admit, a little FOMO, so to speak. But I do admit you will be the most informed person eventually when you make your way down to Northwest Arkansas. So number 3, and this is specifically for someone who is like maybe looking here to be a remote worker, or maybe obviously you are a remote worker and you want to move here. The communities here are so welcoming because a lot of people here are transplants. Like, to meet someone that's been here longer than 10 years, like, super rare, incredibly rare. So there's a lot of people that have moved here over the last decade or so, specifically the last 5 years, and that have want to build community. Like, they're from California, they're from Idaho, they're from, like I said, even some parts of the East Coast, Illinois, Iowa. They're from all over, and they moved here because they see what's happening here and they want to be part of something awesome. But there's so many people that have moved here that are just want to be part of communities. And so there's always like little pockets of communities that are doing unique things, like whether it's obviously biking or hiking or running or kayaking or knitting or going, obviously a bunch of kid events, homeschooling. So many things going here all the time that it's like, if you want to be part of a community, you will find it here in Northwest Arkansas. Super welcoming. I know a lot of places in America aren't like that. Like, for instance, like there's a state, I will leave unmentioned, but that's south of us. And a lot of people come from that southern state up here. But there's a state south of us that are not as welcoming to people moving out of state. But here in Northwest Arkansas specifically, we love people that move here because we're all from different places. And so it really is that new community building up, and you'll feel right at home when you come here. And lastly, and this might not be as important to you, especially if you're a remote worker, but in case you, let's say, for instance, leave your job or decide to get a different occupation, we have jobs here. So that's the one thing that's kind of unique about Northwest Arkansas is that, you could, in theory, move anywhere you wanted to in America. And in theory, it's like, but part of it's like, if you lose your job or you want to get a new job, you have to move. If you move to a small town in the middle of Colorado and nothing going on there, for instance, you have to probably move away from there to find a different job if you want to, or find a different remote work. But sometimes, that can be a mixed bag. We don't know. So the interesting thing with Northwest Arkansas is that you kind of have all the best benefits right here. Is that if you say, for instance, you get laid off from your remote work, or you decide to, do something else, there are so many opportunities right here. So it's one of those things where I tell people moving to the area, it's like, okay, you have this profession, maybe you're in remote work potentially, but also keep an open mind that maybe you can jump and hop to a different field of profession, or maybe you can actually take that field of profession and actually apply it to a physical location here. And so it is cool to see people that are remote workers that have moved here, like from Oregon and Portland and California and all the different places, and they're like, you know what, maybe I could get a job here, maybe I could do this, or maybe I could do that. It just creates a different opportunity because, let's say, for instance, we love remote work. It's great, the best, cool. But there are occasions where it's like maybe for a couple of years you don't want to be, remote working alone and being on Zoom calls. Maybe you want to be with a physical team doing, things in actual, place. And so NWA definitely has those opportunities. So don't feel like if you move here, like you're not gonna have jobs. Plenty of jobs. I think there's like 5,000 tech jobs that need to be filled right now. So there's plenty of work to go around for sure. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you are thinking about coming down to Northwest Arkansas, download my 3-day itinerary link below. Maybe you're a adventurer, maybe you're a sports person, maybe you're a foodie, maybe you're a sightseer, maybe you're kids. Whatever it is, there's a 3-day itinerary link down below for you. So go ahead and download it and use it when you get down here. Also, when you do come down here, I can give you the $10 tour so I can kind of share around the whole area. Plus, we can check out some homes for sale or for rent and see how far your dollar will go in Northwest Arkansas compared to where you're coming from. All right, guys, this is the next one.